Ladies and gentlemen, we call it the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. I don't know what today is because it depends on your point of view. Could be good news, could be bad news, or just maybe some other shit. Ooh, yeah. I know y'all like those. I practiced those, like, just for you. Just special. It's like a gift. Okay. I'm serious. All right, you guys, I'm trying to have a proper attitude today because this is a touchy subject. And that's not a pun either. It's erectile dysfunction. 50% of men over 45 years. Now, let me tell you why I take this so personally. I'm well over 45.
Me too.
And so
way up there, you guys.
We're not, without being totally personal, I got to be somewhat personal because many of you don't realize that I am a physician, board certified pediatrician, 28 years as a pediatric hospitalist. Trained at LA County, USC. I ran the pediatric intensive care unit there as faculty for a year before I went out into the world. I was part of the quintuplet team previously for well, I'm in the process of retiring, so I'm trying to leave the people I'm retiring from like out of the news. So that's another whole thing. But the point being is that I have a point of reference on this, and as a physician, when I started reading the reports about erectile dysfunction, it was amazing to me that a topic of this importance and any other disease that affects 50% of anything, you would have bells going off, alarms, proclamations, presidential task force. I don't care if 50% of the people got foot fungus. You would have more attention made to it. So as a physician, I was absolutely astounded that we had a disease that was affecting 50% of men, and there was no talk. Let me give you an example. I walked into a meeting of doctors, morning meeting before they discussed their patients, right? There was like 20 people there. And I brought this up, but no one knew anything about it? No one. So if part of the issue was half the doctors didn't know anything either. In fact, the way I think we really learned about it is that once they had a drug for it, the drug companies went around telling everybody for whatever it's worth. And that's another whole discussion that we can have someday. But the point is, here you have this issue. Conservative, like I said, 50% of men over 45 years, and it also affects younger men too. And no true discussions of this, other than now you have commercials. I think Viagra, Cialis, all these drugs to treat erectile dysfunction are now the big money. Look, you see it, they're sponsoring everything, the Super Bowl.
That's true.
That's because they're trying to get some,
well,
before or after.
And part of the thing to me, I think, has to do with our expectations with aging. And I think that, now I'm saying this as a physician, because I don't think that the leadership has been there from the world of medicine, for one. And I'm not sure it had to be. I'm not sure it's fair to throw that all on the doctors, because again, nobody knew. But you haven't had the leadership on these kinds of issues. But let me give a historical perspective. Masters and Johnsons were the first folks to actually study sex. Okay, they started, I think, in 1957, didn't get really known until the 60s, right? Before that, no one had even talked about it. That's when the world was shocked, because Masters and Johnson went out and interviewed women and asked them questions that no one had asked them. And of course, everybody was shocked when almost 40% of the women said they didn't have orgasms. And even today, depending on whose numbers you look at, 25 to 35% of women will not have an orgasm with a penis in them. Okay, that's not how they come. Okay, but no one knew these things.
Oh.
No, these again, people should learn the prevalence.
Know your body.
and also what's out there. In other words, this is not a sexual dysfunction. It's just the way that they have their orgasms. Okay? But no one had asked before. So the work of Masters and Johnson was really groundbreaking because it was starting for the first time to tell you about things that women were saying, and men too. And before this, there were no studies, you guys. That's my point. So before 1960, they knew nothing. They were too embarrassed to ask until 1960. And Masters and Johnson's, that was considered some hot shit. To even go around mentioning orgasm. They used to think, okay, you could go back to 1960. They were debating the role of the clitoris. I am not lying. Go look. 1960. They were having discussions of what they called clitoral versus vaginal orgasms. Now, let's get this back. I had to set the tone for this. Why all this? Because you have to apply this mindset to the problem of erectile dysfunction, and you sort of can understand why nothing was ever talked about. Because they barely started talking. They started talking when I was a kid. That was the so-called sexual revolution. So none of this was talked about before 1960. They didn't even know even sure the role of the clitoris until 1960. At least wanted to talk about it. And now, of course, when you get to sexual dysfunction, because when I started getting older and starting to feel a little different, and I went around to all the old men I knew and cussed them out. Motherfuckers.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Oh.
How come you didn't I got them alone. How come you didn't tell me? How come you didn't talk about this? See, this is what you do. Men, because all of us men have older men, that's our friend. Go take them out for a beer. Why the hell, you know damn well, old as you are, that my penis is on a clock? Why didn't you tell me? Because I went to a bunch of old men. I did. My daddy gone, he hinted at it. Because he used to say, oh, I'm 60 years old, my dick will get hard. That's the way men talk about these things. I'm sorry, I have to make it vulgar. Because men are men.
You went to the wrong group.
Yeah, he sure
Well,
did.
you're supposed to go to the women.
I'm just saying, well, we about to get, come there because the women are dealing with it too. Like we already said, remember, the good news is 30% of them don't care about it anyway.
That's wrong.
I'll just say, go get
I would say 30%.
a toy. Go get a toy to help you out. But a lot of men are intimidated by toys.
Well,
the ones that are not wired that way, the ones who are pro, if you get a toy, then that means you don't need me. Shut up.
What Miko says is so true. What happens is when you talk to women, especially the older women, they will tell you that the sex becomes way more about intimacy than just somebody banging on them. So if it's mental, so toys, sexual play, fun, enjoying, going about it, those things are more important as you get older.
Right.
And it's something that all of us can work at any age. Now, also, my advice to the young men is learn how to get good head. Just work at it. Practice. Because you're going to need to use... In other words, use other things than your penis to make love. Learn to use your hands, your mouth, caress with use your body up close as you get older. What, Miko?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Look, you got to know who you messing with. When you're younger, go for what you know. But at the same time, when you don't be that one-dimension person when it comes to sex. Because usually with women... Guys telling themselves if they're constantly giving head, that means you can't. You can't.
But I haven't seen nobody turn down no head yet.
No, it ain't about turning. Yes, they do. Just how men talk about women doing that to them. Women talk about how y'all be messing up on some things with your dentures or biting too hard or nibbling too hard. Yeah, you guys get talked about too. So it's one of those things where you have to know your place when it comes to it and how you wired. Some people, here go the conservative folks, if you gonna be about that life, practice what you preach and teach, because some of y'all, I'm just saying.
Well, you're gonna get older no matter what. That's the other thing. No matter how good. We're not talking about you so much, even though the issues erectile dysfunction, and younger men get it too. It's a problem in younger men. It's just not as common. It's just that once you get over a certain age, the numbers are kind of staggering. Okay, that's what we're saying. So
here's the thing, because you're getting into culture, ethnic groups. Like, which is this a survey that's been done?
It seems to be
or is it just black community?
No, and there's more stuff coming. But again, there's more stuff coming. It seems to be independent of those things, even though, like most things, it's going to be more or less. I haven't seen any literature on like that at all, Miko. Remember, just the beginnings of literature is being done.
Right, but
because
then
you first have to have the discussion, right? And men had to come forth and admit to things, and women had, in order for these things to even get investigated, people have to be willing to, in a totally, private way, admit to these issues. And so we're just at the phase of learning.
Yeah, but most of the stuff was underground teachings and on hands-on. And good example, Karma Sutra book. I mean, if you're into sexology and stuff like that, stuff has been talked about and been looked over because it haven't been made a big stink, and it's something they put under the rug. Now that the generations throughout the years have changed, more people are more boisterous about it. And
even though I think we have to separate out those topics, and that'll make this a little easier. So let's do that right now. What am I saying? Let's separate out the fact that everybody can work on intimacy and loving and being better lovers. Right. Let's separate that out. And let's talk about the physical manifestation that's independent of all that. That erectile dysfunction is a function of your body that's independent, that occurs in whether or not you have those things or not. And they can occur for more reasons. No, it's a physical function. There's a whole discussion of whether they don't like to say that it's effective aging, even though aging is one of the factors. The reason why they don't want to say it because there are men who are older who still have very good function. It may take them longer to get an erection, but then they are now. But it definitely seems to be age related and across the board. That's why, for example, and it is fairly complex because it's the drugs that they use to treat this. People have misunderstandings of those. For example, Miko, this is one for you to understand clearly. If you're not aroused, the drug does not work. So if you are bored with your wife of 30 years, if you are bored with her, you can map out the crack of her ass like the back of your hand. You have done it so many times, you are just bored. If you are just truly not aroused, it don't make no difference how much Viagra and Cialis you take. It doesn't work like that. You have to be aroused for the drug to work. First misconception. So if you are not aroused, your old lady or your old is turning you off, then taking the pill is not going to do anything for you. Okay? Save the $10.
They said, can you say that again?
Because people make that mistake.
They said, can you please?
You have to have arousal. Arousal. See, remember the arousal separate from the pill. The pill works best when you have a motivated male lover, right, who is turned on by his partner. Right. Who just needs the medical assistance with the erection. If you're sitting there next to your old lady, you're thinking, I'm so tired of this. So tired of this. If you think the pill's going to make that, you respond, no.
Ooh.
It won't.
So could you say that it has all to do, it does have something to do with the mental state to get started, and then it's like a booster?
Well, I one thing about medicine, we like to say things a certain way because that's it makes a difference. So I'll say it just the way I just said it. Yep. You those things are using layman's terms. You need to have arousal for the medicine to work.
Okay.
Mental stimulation. So if you don't have that, like I did, I gave the best case scenario. If a woman who goes out and buys Viagra to give to her husband, thinking that's going to make him want to make love to her, when he don't want to make love to her, it won't work.
Oh, dang, that's a waste of a pill.
Yeah, it won't work. It doesn't work like that. You have to have the arousal. So back at the base, like we said, baby, you have to work on the intimacy. Right?
Well, you got to make the person
the arousal
feel wanted.
All of those things.
Catch them at the time that they're wanted.
All of those things, whatever it takes to make them feel aroused. Okay. It says that's so different for so many people. Right. That's why I didn't get all into that.
No, but that's a big issue.
Yeah, for whatever it takes. Whatever it takes for that person. Arousal is different for different people.
Well, people leave people for that.
Yeah, but that's not the scope of the show. The scope of the show is on arrest out dysfunction.
No, but they need to understand that all comes into play with that, and if they're understanding that from you,
well, that's why I told them that in the way that I just did, because those to me are part of the big misconceptions.
Okay.
That you think that when you're not turned on, that you can take it and it's going to work. Okay, no, you need to relax and get turned on. And the same way, if a man is very nervous. When you're very nervous, you are usually not turned on.
True.
You can get so nervous that it's acting counter to, so
one of your old
these are all these things.
Just typed in, when could they come on the show and tell you how it really works? He needs to work on a couple of things himself.
Tell me how it really works. I'm not sure what really works.
Acapella to general.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was like, what?
I know how it really works.
Yeah, you need to learn how it really works. You haven't even reached your age status yet.
Like I said,
speak on that matter.
They go and they try to. People remember part of the issue with these things is that people have a lot of basically lies, right? Yeah. Remember, like Vic, we was a kid. People say, "I can fuck all night." And Richard Pryor said, "You a damn lie."
Hold up.
Richard Pryor said, "I could do like 5 minutes." First of all, don't ask me. Go online right now and Google what is the typical length of intercourse. I know none of y'all want to admit to this bullshit. Okay?
Oh, okay.
But go online right now. So even more what Mario says and Google yourself.
Me either.
What is the average length of intercourse? And then stop lying.
Mario, they said, who the F are you to be saying what length of time? And first of all, you talking to the older folks or the younger folks? Because you can go. You could take breaks, but there are some people that went 24/7. Have you?
No.
Okay.
And there's nobody's gone 24/7. If you do, go get it. We'll give them more.
They said they have ice buckets.
Who cares what they say? Who cares what they say? There's facts. I'm just telling you. These are what people are reporting. It's not my news. I'm giving you the news that's actually known. A lot of y'all. No offense. The one place to hide something from you is in a book. Okay, so I'm sorry. So now this will be your chance. Don't trust what I say. I said go Google it. Don't trust what I say. You can read studies all over the world from different people about what is the average length of intercourse, how often people have intercourse. Vic will know.
And you can break it down to
every year. I did the report about the studies that came out the most recent that talked about everything. People report everything, how often they do what acts, how often this, what age. Now it's studied in more detail, and even though it's not 100% accurate, they can tell you the degrees of accuracy. In other words, they can tell you this is this degree of accuracy. Wow. And they'll be 99.9% within that. In other words, they'll say this is the number plus or minus 10, plus or minus 15. Yeah. But we know 99.9% of the time it's within there. It's like exit polls that are used in elections. They are very effective, y'all. Y'all don't think they're effective? Absolutely. Why do you think they're doing them? Yeah. That's why they banned them on being shown in the news. No, they're not. It's not because they're not effective. They're as effective as shit. Go take a look. Now, let's move on. Questions for anybody about remember the thing today, because I tried to keep it narrow.
Right.
It's on erectile dysfunction. We know that the mind, I don't want to get into the debate of how to keep your mind going. Do whatever you can.
Well, when you.
I'm talking about what's being reported right now. We don't.
Right.
If you have a solution, get on the internet and get it out there. We're not here to deal with that today because it doesn't exist clearly yet. There are a lot of things people are trying. Go on their line. I'm not trying to say don't. I'm just saying it's not clear yet. They're just starting to learn. But this is a real problem, and men need to talk more about it.
And not be afraid to talk about it.
Thank you.
You're human. It has nothing to do with I won't say it has nothing to do with the macho, but if you tell us, we will be better understanding to work with you on certain issues instead of you just not saying nothing, being like a mute witness. It's not they're gonna leave and they're gonna be like, you know what, I tried, and he's not doing anything, and maybe he's not turned on. So it makes you want to just go to another person who's going to be turned on. If you don't say nothing, closed mouth, don't say it. I'm just saying.
Well, and actually, if you really look at what happens,
right?
Again, if people really were more honest, most people stay. They just deal with it. The truth is, most people attempt to deal with their lovers' imperfections on many levels. So, and sex is not a thing of, people really don't, when you get into it, they don't measure it like that. Some do, but that's a minority of the people. That is a very much, again, don't trust, again, I can't give you all the numbers, but these are things that you can go see. Attempt to educate yourself. The goal being, we have to have a more enlightened view of sex. We have to be willing to learn about sex. Remember that your health care practitioners, many of them know nothing about these topics, and unfortunately will do a terrible job in attempting to counsel you. So you need to go get it. That's part of the thing. Vic, any last thoughts from you two?
Just simple. I was just going to go with your initial thing that I get more information from studying about where comets came from 300 years ago than what the masters of the universe want to admit right now. Hardest thing to do is be the masters of the universe talking and touting what you could do. And then you have to go and reveal by information the data to start doing the study. And so the masters of the universe, to me, and I'm saying this because I said men always want to have the choice and control. And throughout the age, this is not about that they didn't know what to do. They're just going, I'm not going to be the one to offer up any indication that it's originating from me. And I think it's the practitioners of the studies as well, because I think people who are excellent in their field also are animalistic.
Ooh,
and so to pass this all by all of a sudden to get to the 1960s or 70s or 80s and then say, oh, guess what? By the way, I said, wait a minute. I actually can go find out more information about Halley's Comet than this. That is an intentional avoidance because you're the masters of it and you want to keep it. It's shameful to admit that you're going through this issue. So I think it's been around so much. I want to sit back and say, you want to see the best con job ever done by men who actually say, I can fuck all night long? Give it to the men that's been saying that for thousands of years. Applaud them. Now it's caught up. Karma, bitch. All right, next.
Was he exhaling?
Nico, your final words on the topic?
I'm sitting up here like, damn. Okay, Vic, you sound like you was on the couch. He went straight personal, from professional to personal. Like, wow.
Your final words on the topic.
My final word on the topic is, you have some that can and you have some that can't. And as you progress in age, it does catch up with you, and you do have to sing for your cookies at some point when it comes to the sexual erectile dysfunction.
All right, there you go. And again, we think that by talking about these difficult subjects, that it's hopefully making it easier for many people when you understand the scope of the issue. More and more, this empowers us as men, because the more we throw away these stereotypes that we have to live up to unrealistically, the more that is liberating to men and ultimately liberating to women also. I'm Marl Hemsley. That's the good news. The bad news and the other shit. Yeah, that's the good news. Put it on your mind. You said mind your work. We've got a clock. It's on the clock.
Wow. They stuck on Vic over there cussing. They said they never saw Seal just go there.
Why you guys say I look like Seal?
They said you look like Seal.
You know what? Most people who don't know Seal think that I'm a fish.
Seal, that's cool.
Well, you know, the singer.
See?
No, that singer, he is sexy.
In his own right. Bald black man. All right, you guys. Man. We're going to come back with Victor Allen's New Sports and then the hot picks. But every week, I have a freebie of the week. This one is one of our favorites. We love Love Shadow, and this is one of our favorite songs by Love Shadow. It's available for free up at dig.ccmixter.org. Or just, search Love Shadow, Crazy Love, or you can go to our site and go to my broadcast materials where you can see it. Here it is. Take a listen. We'll be right back. What's the use in trying? Ooh, give me chills. What's the use in trying? Ooh, give me chills. Oh.
you make me feel. Now slide your key in. Ooh, it gives me chills. And with your engine trapped between my thighs, it's a power rush, a burning rush. You make me wanna fly. Oh, in and out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Feel the wind blowing through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Pour it on, boy, take me to the night. There ain't no stopping. So what's the use in trying? Destination, baby, all I know is that you and me were meant to be. Never let me go. Out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. It's crazy, going through my head. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love.
Sound of Love Shadow. Freebie song of the week, Crazy Love. The motorcycle song, I think you call it. Yes.
I never thought that love makes you crazy. I never thought that love makes you high. I only hope that love is forever. I only hope that love never dies. Out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love, it's a crazy love. Feel the wind blowing through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Never let me go. In and out of this traffic jam, dangerous and without a plan. Fill me up, boy, and let me ride. Crazy love,
Yes.
it's a crazy love. It's crazy going through my hair. So alive, boy, and I'm so scared. Never knew love could move so fast. Crazy love, it's a crazy love.
Love Shadow.
Crazy love. Give me chills. What's the use in trying? Crazy love. Give me chills. I like
Max, he never
the
told
way
that line.
that you
Yes, right.
Richard Pryor said he can go 5 minutes, then he said 3 minutes, he needs 8 hours sleep and a bowl of Wheaties.
Oh man, that's wrong. That is just wrong.
Oh my God. People think when you talk about sex so much and you're not the person that actually do it, or you talk about it too much, they think you don't get enough, or they think you don't get any. Usually when people do, they don't talk much about it, they just do.
Well, that would also be that they probably would be doing a show on it, and again, the people who ask those same questions are subject to the same kind of review. As far as I know, the ones who criticize the ones ain't doing no more screwing them damn
Oh,
selves.
Acapella the General said you don't get any. Acapella the General said you don't get any.
I would say ask your girl.
Wow! In your face,
In
honey.
my old
boo.
days, I used to say ask your
Booyaka,
mama.
booyaka.
See, in the old days, I was harder. I used to say ask your mama.
Say ask your grandmama.
So
Oh, my God.
Tell them, please.
Ask all three.
Tell them, everybody, let's give the world a notice. Do
Get it,
not
Mario.
do the dozens with Mario. Do not do the
He
dozens
said,
with
"Laugh at my
Mario.
ass off." Get him, Mario.
I'm the wrong one. Don't do the dozens with me because I was the number 2 in my junior high school and number 1 in the high
He
school.
said I can go 5 hours with coconut juice, 1 drop of ginseng, and Dr. Selby.
And you know what brothers tell you that shit? You know what I tell them? I say, send me the woman to testify to that.
That's right.
Send me,
They never
send me the
do.
woman. Send me
They
the
never
woman who
do.
testifies to your shit.
They never
Because
do.
people know me, at least I have. So.
Yeah, you get proof.
He talking about I have 7. Didn't he just get married?
I don't know.
Right. He
I think
just
you
got
might
married.
need to
Talking
be
about I got
working-
7.
You might need to be working on some of those other things.
Wow.
All right, you guys, you ready for some sports?
True.
After the sex talk, I don't think so.
Dang, yes, yes,
Think
go
about
for
it. Think-
That goes with it.
what comes first?
Sex.
There we go. See, there we go. That's it. I just imagine you
Then sports, then sex again.
Think about it. You're following a hot topic in an act. I'd rather hear this going on and on and on, what you guys just talked about.
Well, I'm still stuck on you cursing and going off on the people, and the people in here like, damn.
I'm going on reputation.
That part too. Right.
I used to do some good shit.
But Mario, we know. Look, at least your women came through here vouching for you.
Hey,
on the show.
Well, you know what? Today I'm like a spaded cat. I go outside, forget why I went there. I just go out on the porch and stand around.
Yeah, but your women, I like how you said that. You said, show me the woman. But the men never do. They always talk about it, but they never mention the woman that they're supposed to be going 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours with. Least I could say, I met 3 of your women that came through here, and they're exes and friends now that actually voice what you could do. I was like, okay, now get it, girl.
It's embarrassing when they do.
No, it's not. No, now you embarrassed.
Because I don't do it like that no more.
But you're older. You never. They still want you though.
Sometimes
they still want you.
That's a good problem. I do. I have exes. They always give me compliments.
They still want you.
And I tell them, baby, I'm not like that no more.
But they still want you.
I'm not like that no more. But baby, but you know what? Miko was right. You know what the key is? And the key is what Miko said before. You know, she said friends. I had relationships where we were truly friends, really friends. And the way that the word really means, people who really care, love each other, and care.
I'm selfish.
So that's what the difference was. And that as a man, I tried to get off that macho shit a long time ago when it comes to your woman.
Good for you.
When it comes to your woman, ask her what she likes. And then try to do that shit.
Thank you.
Real simple.
Right.
Not rocket science.
I think it's
not rocket science. Ask her what she likes and do that shit all the time.
Look, he's trying to prove something.
That's all it is to it. It ain't rocket science.
He's trying to prove something.
You know, show them some attention. I'm just saying, because the goal is, what makes you become a better lover is caring.
Right.
About being a better lover. That's what makes you a better lover, is that you care, that you want to please.
Yeah. Not just
a lot of people don't want to please. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to please, so they're not going to ever be good in that way. So, you know.
Well, you got some people that don't ever want to truly please, but they're good with their equipment, but that it stops right there. It goes no further. And a lot of people think that's right. That's it. And it's like, no, that's not it.
One day that is
the big D is not the big headache that you want.
I like the idea that Mario actually denies. I used to use that tactic of you deny. I'm not able to do it anymore. And the woman sits in front of you and says, "Yes, you can. Don't be lying to me." It used to be the other way around. You used to sit back and brag about I could do this, and girls said, "No, you can't." They just run you down the hill and say you can't do nothing. Now he has to sit back and tell them, I don't do this anymore. And they go, oh, no. Just for that, you get the toys.
That's right. That is so right. Get the toys.
I'm going to tell you, part of it is losing weight. My couple of them have told me I look better now than I did then.
Oh, yes. They said it right in front of me. I was like,
well, I lost 50 pounds. I mean, that's one thing.
You look like you lost weight more
than that. And then I grew long-ass hair. You know, y'all like the hair.
Yeah, they like your locks.
Fickle.
And he's about to become a rapper.
Hey.
You stupid. Did he say he was about to become a rapper?
Yeah.
I started getting attention because of his hair. I started working his hair.
He's going to be a rapper next year.
Old cat, new tricks.
See, I'm looking at Acapello's comment, and usually when younger guys say...
Your dick's on the timer too, Acapello.
Yeah, his on the timer too. But when they say, I shred them to pieces, them the dudes you want to stay away from because they reckless.
Performance, if you are...
They don't know how to appreciate it.
If your number one issue and that you focus on is sex is performance...
No.
Then you're already on the wrong track.
He is on the wrong track.
You're on the wrong track.
If intimacy,
if intimacy and closeness is not number one,
you don't have nothing. Anybody can just screw.
That's like rabbits.
Basically, without no feeling.
Y'all ready for some sports?
Not after that subject.
Well, you all over there talking.
Go ahead. I don't care. I'm ready.
I'm ready.